Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Unreal Engine tutorial. And today we are going to be looking at the first-person camera in the Grav Zone. Now, I've already done a tutorial on how to set this particular scene up. I'll see if I can link the card in. But effectively, all we've got is just an arrow, a plane, and a box. And every time you overlap on the box, it sets the gravity direction to the point of the arrow. Fairly simple stuff. Feel free to check out the other tutorial. Now, I noticed in the previous tutorial, and I did make a comment, that when you're moving up and down, the camera is not really orientated correctly, and obviously side to side is not going really in the same orientation as you would expect. Now, I did say I would take some time to sort this. I forgot, and then someone quite rightly reminded me that, yeah, I had forgotten. So here is the tutorial. It's not as bad as you think. The only issue is, given how the first person is set up, it actually requires a change in C++ and updates. So there is not really a blueprint way of doing this without changing the entirety of how they've got the first-person camera thing set up. There is just no way, because it uses set control rotation, and that control rotation is added to the player controller, and it's all managed in the player controller. It is nothing to do with the player character, unfortunately. So I did give this a go myself, and I actually found an Unreal Engine document that did it better, to say the least. So I'm pretty much going to do the one that they've done in the thing, and I'll link the document in. And I'll go through the document as well, because there's actually quite a few additional things that are quite nice to do. But first, they took away the ability to add C++ files to a project from just a blueprint one from down here. You have to now go to Tools, New C++ Class. And what we're looking for is player controller. And for the time being, I'm just going to call this Grav Controller and create class. Now, what that's going to do is convert your project to allow C++. It's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be slightly heavier, but it gives you a hell of a lot more flexibility and more fine tuning, as it were, because there's still a lot of things you can't do in blueprints that you can do in C++. Please close the editor before, yeah. So that's what you'll get. You just need to open the Visual Studio project and recompile. And we have our new Grav controller. Now, I'm just going to copy and paste because it's not my code. And as I said, I'm going to link the document in anyway. So yeah, it's nothing obscure, but basically what you need to look at, if we pick definition here, you'll find this function. Now, if we go to the definition of said function, is it going to allow it, or is it going to be a pain? That one. You can see here we've got delta rotation, this view rotation, get control. This is what's controlling the camera rotation, because then that's updated here, process view rotation, and then it's setting control rotations, face rotation. You know, this is the stuff that it does. So this is the stuff we need to modify. So I'm going to copy and paste these in. Feel free to pause and copy it yourself, or just look at the document. It's in the document. You can just copy and paste from there. But effectively, we're overriding that update rotation so we can take into account gravity. It's not included by default. We've got a variable for the last frame gravity, so we don't update it every single time, and some functions that will be specific to converting rotations from world space to relative and back again. Not too much of a problem to understand, but it needs to happen. The cameras is relative, whereas the actual thing is in world space. So we need to do a bit of both with this. So I'm going to copy this, and I need to call, because they called it gravity control thing, something or other, a gravity controller. We also need these two in here. which should sort out the rest of it. Right, so we'll go through this function very quickly just so you can understand what they're doing. We're setting initial gravity as the down vector. This is by default down, so that's the standard gravity direction. We're then going to the character movement, and we're getting the gravity direction from there, as providing we have a movement component. We might not have one if we're not possessing a pawn. So we're getting the one that we've actually changed it to. We're then getting the current control rotation, which is the current view rotation. In here, we're working out the delta between the last gravity and our current one. So if it's facing down and then you're having it facing up, it's effectively like 180 degrees, but we're storing it in a quad. And then we're going to warp the camera rotation to be to take into account the new direction. Not too much, but it's just a bit of vector math. And then we're storing the new rotator from that. From here, we now need to convert it from world space to local, because then we are changing the camera to be that local. And then once we've done, we set the control rotation again with the new view rotation, but we need to convert it back to a world rotation. These are the ones that it's doing. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't just use the original rotation, but maybe my vector math is playing tricks with my brain. But yeah, this is pretty much all of it. And then obviously, setting that camera view is the main key. And this is why we can't do this in blueprints, because we actually need to override this whole function. If we don't override this whole function, we're not going to be able to update this get control rotation. So there is not really a lot else to that. You just need to Control Alt F11 to compile that. So yeah, I had to completely close my Unreal Engine project and recompile from scratch. So I'm just going to play this as a debug build from here, just to not have to worry about it. Okay, so now we're back here. So if we go to our world settings and we have our game mode, if you don't have this window, it's here under window world settings. And we need to change our player controller to our grab controller. Now this is going to fix the camera. So if I now come onto here, you can see it immediately snapped upwards because we rotated it upwards. You might want to do a lerp or something, but you see if I'm now moving up and down, we're now up and down, which is correct. Left and right is now moving on the correct axes. So that's something fixed. The other thing, let's add another one here. And down a little bit. There we are. So now if I come up here, it's now snapped there. And if I come up to here, it's now snapped here. But you can see the movement is not quite right. I went, hang on, let me just see if I can get back up on there. Right, I went there. This is forward and it's going backwards. See? That's not quite right, and it doesn't seem to register that. So we need an additional change. This we can do in blueprints if you had started a blueprint project. So we need to come to our blueprint first-person character, and we need our movement ones here. Right, I'm going to move you over here, because I need a little bit more space than what they've given. It's nice and neat, but, let's clear up some of the useless comments. We know it's left and right. We understand. So in here, we need a get control rotation, and that gets the control rotation from the player controller that we had literally just updated. We need our character movement and our get gravity direction, which is here. We need get gravity relative rotation, which we now get our control rotation and our gravity rotation here. And then we want our get gravity world rotation, and we want to split split that and split that. The gravity direction is there. We want yaw and roll plumbed into this. And then we plumb, we need the get right vector from that, which we then replace into here. Now it is identical for the other one, except, let me just copy and paste. We only want the yaw. So we only want the yaw, and we actually want the get forward vector. So plumb that into that. We've got that. And if I hit play now, we can have this. This is now snapped to there. And now if I press forward, you can see we're now going in the right direction. So you need both of these to get this working. It's pretty much how it works. I don't have anything to come off of this because I'm a Muppet and didn't actually put one on the bottom to undo it. But that's pretty much how it works. And as for the document, this is the document. I will share this in the comments below. But this shows you from beginning how to create the project, adjust cameras if you need to, mouse positions, animation graphs. I believe they already fixed the animation graph. So let me just have a look in here. And we want... Yeah, so this used to be vector XY and it's now vector length. So they've actually fixed this in the actual template now, so we don't need to fix that one. But in here, you've got how to create the project, adding the gravity camera, which we had already done. And down here, you have the code that I copied in for you with the brief explanation, how to compile it, how to use that gravity controller, how to set up this movement, which as we have shown is there with the explanation. Here's the animation one we don't need to do anymore, and here's how to set gravity directions and planet gravity if you want to do a planet, so it'll always face the center of the planet. But yeah, I will share this document in the comments, but that is going to be it, guys. This was just a follow-on video to fix the camera issue that we had in the previous one that I promised to do. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining, guys. I hope this has been really helpful to some people, and I will see you next time. Bye for now. Bye-bye.